State of New California. Notice to all Californians. Chapter 2, Grievance 27, October 27, 2020. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form a New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Sections 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state, provided in United States Constitution, Article 4, Sections 3 and Section 4. We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, whenever any form of government becomes destructive in its right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, we, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity. First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supporting by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The counties of New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Grievance 27, Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government violates the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. United States Constitution, Article 6. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state of the contrary notwithstanding. First Amendment, United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Eighth Amendment, United States Constitution. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. 14th Amendment, United States Constitution. Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of laws. Refer to sections 2, 3, 4, and 5. Order of the day: no bailout. We, the people of the unified counties of New California, seek the removal of the California state governor. We are determined to stop the one-man rule of a pusillanimous, craven dictator whose words and actions are a grave danger to all U.S. citizens living in California. California is entering its 9th month of a dictator's ordered lockdown under the COVID-19 pandemic. There is no end in sight. Last week, the governor was taken to court to end the tyranny being foisted upon the citizens of the United States living in California state. There is yet to be a decision rendered by the court, even though there was one indicated by the judge in a, quote, couple of days, end quote. Assemblymember Kevin Kiley wrote after the trial, quote, "Our trial against Governor Newsom has just concluded, and the judge said she will issue a ruling in very short order. That probably means by the end of the week," end quote. Kiley and Gallagher argued that California's Constitution has an explicit separation of powers provision, which Governor Newsom has violated. Quote, "A California governor is constitutionally forbidden from doing the very thing Governor Newsom has done here, exercise legislative powers. I'm not sure that the governor's attorneys really provided any legal argument to defend his conduct," he said, "so I hope it will be an important moment for our state in putting an end to this idea that we can have an autocracy for 8 months with no end in sight," end quote. With no decision by the court, there is another delay, which translates into, quote, "the tyranny of one-man rule continues," end quote. Given the behavior of the judge during the trial, this should not be a surprise. It was clear the judge had no grasp of the constitutional arguments being laid down by Assembly members James Gallagher and Kevin Kiley. The judge appeared by those in the court and those watching on Facebook to be straining, quote unquote, for understanding of the constitutional basics of separations of powers. After 9 months of dictatorial rule, there is an additional delay by a California judge. Delay for the governor is good. The governor remains in power by way of the Emergency Services Act, and he is able to continue the distraction away from California's real problem, insolvency, an issue that will destroy California. In May 2020, New California State reported California had a cash deficit of over $85 billion. California's Legislative Analysis Office, LAO, agreed. Today, that deficit number has grown to over $120 billion. It appears the governor's only hope is with Aunt Nancy's attempt to get a federal bailout. In the past, California was able to get bailouts when it filed bankruptcy in 1935. In 2000, it had a $14 billion cash deficit, and in 2010, a $42 billion cash deficit. These bailouts were from Democratic administrations. In 2020, there's a new Republican administration, and it sees California's cash deficits differently, as recent posts on Twitter reveal. Quote, President Donald Trump on Wednesday said he didn't see any way Democrats and Republicans would agree on a deal for coronavirus relief, despite House Speaker Nancy Pelosi remaining optimistic about finalizing a stimulus package before Election Day. In a tweet Wednesday, he tried to pin the blame for a deadlock in spending discussions on Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Pelosi is proposing a $2.2 trillion package, while the Trump administration is offering $1.88 trillion, though Trump has said he'd like an even bigger deal than what Pelosi has offered. Just don't see any way Nancy Pelosi and crying Chuck Schumer will be willing to do what is right of our great American workers or our wonderful USA itself on stimulus, the president posted on Twitter. Quote again, their primary focus is bailing out poorly run and high crime Democratic cities and states, he said. This most likely refers to the money Democrats want for state and local governments, which have seen tax revenue plummet as economic activity slowed during the pandemic. End quote. New Californians nor the President of the United States will be distracted. Today, the California governor's words and actions are a grave danger to all U.S. citizens living in California while the state continues to operate outside the authorities of the United States Constitution. For New Californians, it is our God-given right. It is our duty to protect our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights with all means necessary from a craven dictator. The Californians will not comply. New Californians will not comply. We request the President of the United States act immediately to remedy these abuses by the California state and declare a state of insurrection exists in California. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialistic governor, dictator, and monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of succession. The California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor or dictator has usurped power and actively engaged in acts of succession, and have created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America to thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor-dictator of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the citizens of the United States living in California state. Prayer. The citizens of New California state pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 or the Emergency Economic Powers Act to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California state. This concludes these proceedings. NewCaliforniaState.com, 877-828-2753.